Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale video. In tonight's video, it's going to be something that's a little bit unique, but it's going to be a pretty fun video and a trip down memory lane, I guess you could say. Essentially, what happened is Fortnite Intel wrote this article about all of the vaulted weapons that have been updated up to February 5th, 2019. Going to talk about these weapons, go through, I think there's like 30 vaulted weapons and, bouncers, different stuff like that as well. I'm not sure if they missed any in this article or if everything is covered. I think some of like the early traps and devices might be missing from this. Let me know in the comments anything else that is missing, and let me know in the comment section down below what vaulted items do you guys miss the most out of this list. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, let's go for 1,500 likes. And then also everyone, my supporter creator is the Goblin YT, and if you guys use my supporter creator from February 8th to 22nd, there's like a boosted supporter creator, so it helps me out even more. And with the wrap that everyone gets for free for using supporter creator, I think that they said it was the event dates were February 8th to 22nd, but I believe it's the actual wrap isn't in the game or something until the next update comes around. So once that comes around next week, I think then everyone should start to get those free wraps for using people's supporter creator. But big shout out to everyone using the Goblin YT and the item shop. Very, very much appreciated. Everyone subscribing to the channel and all that sort of stuff. So let's get into it, and let's start with this from the date. These are ordered by date by the oldest ones that were vaulted. So we'll start off with the Zappotron, which was vaulted way back on September 29th, 2017. By far the first one. And of course, if you guys don't know what the vault is, it's basically where they take weapons that aren't currently in the game, but of course could always come back. They've always exchanged. There's been a lot of things that went to the vault, got tweaked, came back, went back to the vault. You know, that's basically why it's essentially the vault instead of just being completely out of the game, because there always is a chance that they come back. But the Zappotron, most people probably don't remember this one. I didn't even play the game when this one was in, so I don't remember it, but I'll show footage up on the screen right now. As you can see, this gun was a little bit ridiculous, and obviously the reason why it was vaulted. Basically, one powerful shot that does extreme damage and could pierce through multiple enemies. So it was like a Tempest from Call of Duty or something, super powered in Fortnite. Absolutely ridiculous, but of course that was put into the vault. Next one put into the vault was the submachine gun. Now, this is the original Fortnite submachine gun. I was playing when this was in the game. However, this wasn't a weapon that was used very often, because back then it wasn't like a shotgun submachine gun meta or a shotgun deagle meta. It was actually double shotgun meta, where there is double pump or pump and attack or different things like that. And this submachine gun didn't get too much love except off the early starts of games. The whole SMG frenzy or meta didn't really start until like P90 drum gun, stuff like that was added, which is more towards around season 5. So that's what it was as far as the original submachine gun, which was of course vaulted back on February 12th, 2018. Next was the smoke grenade, vaulted on April 11th, 2018. This one, it was ridiculous. And in the unvaulted mode, I know a lot of people probably have experience with this, but the smoke grenades would just like, you threw it in a building in Tilted, and the whole building is smoked out. You can't see anything. You could like literally sit on a smoke and revive or heal up or anything, unless people could find you in the smoke with aim assist or something. There really was no way to find you, and they were a little bit overboard. I think that they dropped in like a pack of 2 at one point, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, smoke grenades of course vaulted. Next was the crossbow, vaulted May 1st, 2018. The crossbow was one that was added in sort of around Valentine's Day, and I remember it was just, it had unlimited ammo, but so it was super annoying because you would always have either that one teammate that's trolling you and shooting them at you and your buddies, and making that zoom 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 sound, or you just hear it from a distance and be like, which person is up on a mountain trying to snipe me right now with a crossbow? So it really did cause a lot of paranoia, and that was of course vaulted on May 1st. It did briefly return for the Ice Storm event as a weapon, designed to deal more damage to the Ice Legion, but of course the crossbow traditionally has gone in and out of the vault different ways like that, but that was the original vaulting of it. By the way, if you want to see this whole article, full credit to Fortnite Intel, it will be linked down in the description, because I thought this was a really awesome article. Next was the jetpack, vaulted on June 11th. Now, this was one where this was the first one where they went kind of crazy, the jetpack, and a lot of people didn't like this one. A lot of people complained about this, and eventually it was vaulted because of the fact that it kind of just negated building, and no matter how good of a builder you were, someone could just jetpack up and beat you, by doing that. And it really was also another way to avoid fall damage, and it was something that when it was out, a lot of people would hold it in their inventory, but then of course it was eventually vaulted, and it was used, it's now more used in like shotgun and flying around in shotgun game modes and different things like that. Next is going to be the tactical submachine gun, which was vaulted on June 27th, 2018. So this was one that a lot of people were in uproar when it was vaulted because people really loved the purple variant of this one. The tactical SMG was a way to really melt people quickly. And of course, by vaulting this, they quickly added, a bunch of other stuff, right? I'm not sure if it was before vaulting this or after, but, P90, drum gun, a lot of stuff that eventually, even after this gun being vaulted, SMG still ended up taking over the game and sort of becoming a little bit too overpowered before they started, there was a point where people really wouldn't even carry ARs. It got so out of hand with the drum gun, MP90, different stuff like that. But that was, of course, the TAC SMG, which was vaulted on June 27th. Next was the revolver, vaulted on September 6th. This one was a cool weapon. It was fun to use. However, it doesn't compare to the hand cannon, and especially with the way the hand cannon, aka the Deagle, Desert Eagle, is used in a game nowadays, with breaking down builds and used as a counter to good builders, which there's a lot of good builders, a lot more than there was, 6 months ago or something like that. But that was the revolver, vaulted September 6, 2018. That was actually a really fun gun to use, especially if you could double revolver. I remember that was pretty fun. Next was the drum gun, vaulted on September 11th, 2018. The drum gun was pretty cool, and I'm not gonna lie, the drum gun was a fun gun to use. It was at one point my favorite gun in the game, and this thing was ridiculous. It had good damage even at a decent range. Of course, it would have recoil at long range. You couldn't really use it like an AR, but up close to mid range, deadly. 50 bullets in it, and it was just like a submachine gun on steroids, as it says in this article. And of course, this weapon eventually got vaulted. This was probably what stemmed the whole SMG, even though I don't know if it's technically an SMG. I don't know if the drum gun, it kind of was like an AR SMG hybrid. I think that's what was advertised as well. But eventually this was vaulted, and that's when it sort of tuned back into a more controllable meta that we have today. Next was the LMG. This LMG was actually pretty good. It was good because you could pick it up and use all the ammo in it for like early game kills. It was also a decent weapon at spraying down, and even if you didn't have a submachine gun early game, I remember you could use this as like a shotgun into the LMG sort of combo. Vaulted on September 27th, 2018. RIP to the LMG. I don't really know why. It was a pretty fun weapon, but it was removed back at the beginning of Season 6. Impulse grenades, which were vaulted on September 27th. This was one that kind of came out early and was something that was really crazy at the time when it came out, but of course it was eventually vaulted just because there was so much mobility around that time in like Season 6 or so. Impulse grenades were vaulted, and also the bouncer pad was vaulted, which I really don't, it's been since September 27th according to this article, 2018, and dude, this is the one that in my opinion, like, I want these back. These were awesome. They were really, really awesome, and the skill gap they could create, especially with the meta nowadays, the things people would do with them would be absolutely insane. Bring bouncers back. If you want them back, leave it in the comment section down below. Hashtag bring bouncers back. I want it back. I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. Leave a comment down below if you want them back as well. Remote explosives AK-C4 vaulted September 27th, 2018 as well. Thank goodness, because these got to a point where they were insane. You could take down whole buildings at Tilted Towers. You could take down, if people, you could stack up to like 10 of them and you couldn't get beat. Like, people would try to build on you and it would just take a couple throws of these to take people out. Guided missile vaulted November 1st. The guided missile, was in the game, then it got taken out, and then it was put back in the game, and then it was vaulted again. A weapon that was cool in design. I remember back when I used to play like James Bond 007 on GameCube, and they had one of these guided missiles. It was like the most OP weapon in the game, or one of the most OP weapons. And in this game, it was just more of like an annoyance. When they made it more of a scout weapon, it was kind of useless. And when it was before, it was just really good because you could just basically hide and use it over and over, scout the whole map, and keep destroying people's builds and keep the pressure on them, which was really tough. And it was like a third-party gem. But thank goodness this one is vaulted. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and I'm kind of glad it's vaulted. Next is the semi-auto sniper rifle, vaulted on November 1st. Of course, this was just the thing that they did with SMGs, where they switched around the sniper rifles. Now we have the heavy and the silence, but of course they vaulted the semi. The Portafort vaulted December 6th. I'm cool with that. Portafort was another one of those weapons which was really, really effective back when not everyone could build a super good amount, but nowadays it wasn't something that really anyone would try to carry. It was more of a beginner player item. The Chiller vaulted December 6th. The Chiller was another one which was, they thought this was going to be a cool idea, I guess, when they implemented it, but there was really useless. Like, there was only a few funny clips that came out of this, or ways to like heal on the go, and they tried to add uses for this, but this one was kind of just, I wouldn't say a failure because it didn't really hurt the game at all. It was just kind of irrelevant, you know, and the chiller was eventually vaulted. Clinger grenades also vaulted on December 6th. Clinger grenades went up and down. It was very good at one point where you could do like the double clinger and like shoot the wall down and get the damage inside or whatever. That was absolutely overpowered and crazy, but of course those were vaulted eventually. Double barrel shotgun was also vaulted. That weapon was crazy. They ended up nerfing it, and it was in a respectable state, but then when they added more shotguns and they added those new pumps and stuff like that, they vaulted the double barrel shotgun. Shockwave grenade, which was the super powered impulse grenade, was also vaulted. I'm not sure why, honestly. Maybe that there was you know, just like so much mobility in the game, but these were something that I know people like probably didn't want to carry them. There wasn't too much use to carry them, especially when you could, like, you know, fly around the map or zip lines or whatever, all the stuff there is nowadays. But it's something that was kind of fun, so I don't know why, but it was vaulted. Infinity Blade, which I don't really need to talk about this one too much, vaulted on December 14th. This one was absolutely ridiculous, and it was something that they put in right before a professional tournament, and then of course eventually vaulted. I think everyone knows about this one. It wasn't too long ago. The 6-shooter vaulted January 8th, another weapon which was around for a couple months and then got vaulted, kind of one that was just put to the side. Not too many people would take it over hand cannons or SMGs. The burst assault rifle vaulted January 8th, 2019. The classic burst vaulted. I still don't really know why. I mean, I guess because there were so many other weapons, and you know, the FAMAS and things like that. Probably because there's just so much stuff in the game, and they want to balance out the loot odds. And then the quad launcher vaulted January 22nd. The quad launcher, I didn't think it was overpowered in a sense, because you could just wait out the 4 and build against it, but it was an annoyance to play against, and I am glad it was vaulted. The Porta Fortress was vaulted January 22nd. The grappler was also vaulted January 22nd, which was I think that's fair. You know, it's fun to have things like the grappler or the jetpack or things like that in the game for a little bit, but eventually it gets to the point where everyone gets so good with it that they're carrying it. You know, all good players are carrying it, and it sort of ruins the balance of like a competitive or good players you know, game and play style. Next is the bolt action sniper, vaulted January 29th, 2019. Of course, that was because they now have the silence bolt, which another different sort of change. I don't know how everyone feels about that one. Heavy shotgun, which was vaulted, of course, because they now have the gold pump. And the submachine gun, which was vaulted because of the fact that they have the silent submachine gun. Nowadays they switch those ones out. And then the FAMAS like weapon was actually vaulted as well, which took basically another step based on the first burst being vaulted, and then they also did the FAMAS. So once again, like, I really don't know why. Those were cool weapons to use, and I know some people might be kind of mad about that. And then the boombox was vaulted on February 5th, 2019. Of course, because, you know, there was another weapon that had a big annoyance, but they did add those rockets and stuff like that as well. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these weapons are your top 3 that you're glad are vaulted, and the top 3 that you would like to see back. Let me know that down in the comment section down below. Drop a like on this video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.